person on that bill.
Give you this now, Billy?
Yeah, y'all can come on. I've got the guys with information with me. So, the first item that we have is item S, and it is we'd like to submit for council approval of the bid by BH Construction for the construction of pickleball tennis courts at Veterans Memorial Park. And the accepted bid price is $9,397,000. John and Robert can talk a little bit more about the information that I sent you as far as the water and the sewer and any other particulars about the contract, if y'all have any of those questions.
What's the deal with the sewer?
We're working
You
on.
would use the mic there and.
Y'all, Robert Fry.
This is
Yeah, Robert Pry with Engineers of the South.
Yeah.
We have plans probably 80% complete for a lift station and a sewer force main that'll be required to serve both the new pickleball facility, tennis complex, and the remaining portions of the park as well. And the project also includes a short section of water line to boost the fire flows right there around the museum. And I think the estimated total project cost on that's $430,000. We have, as soon as our electrical engineering folks are done with completed their part of the design, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be ready to go to bid for that.
Be asking, this may not, you may not have an answer to this, and it may be totally out of line, not out of line, but may not have anything to do with what you're doing. But since we're doing this sewer work out there for the tennis and pickleball now, in the future, if we were to ever want to reuse those campgrounds there, would that help with that as well, if we were to go down that road someday?
We went back, no one really knew where all the sewer was out there. We've gone back and we found it all and made some inspections, and we located this pump station in a spot that would be capable of serving that old campground area. There might be some work that needs to be done on the lines between the campground and this pump station. They're in pretty bad shape.
I'm just thinking with tennis tournaments and pickleball, it could serve people that want to bring their motorhomes in, or campers work camp there for the weekend, and maybe able to open that back up.
So it's in a location that would serve all of that.
Okay, good, good.
Is that down where we rode?
Sir?
I asked Bill, was that down where we rode?
Yes, sir. Down-
Yeah, that's right.
Down that
No,
road.
The lower part.
It can.
And I think there were, Robert, you can correct me, there were 2 different options. One of the options which was a little bit less expensive, but it would only serve just those 2 buildings, is that correct? So this option, if we so choose, if that's the way that we want to go, this will serve a larger portion and then for future growth.
We need to go ahead and do it now. Is that right, Jim?
The $9 million question here that I get daily, when's dirt gonna start being flipped out there?
Soon. Hopefully
I've been saying soon for 6 months. No, I get you. I just thought if you had a date, I could pin you down right now. So.
Well, once we get this tonight, we'll be ready to move forward with the
Okay,
contract.
I got you.
So the thing with that is TAD has let us, since they already have a contract with Robert, that won't need to be approved by y'all, just the contract for B&H Construction.
Right.
We'll use TAD and them's contract that they already have with them.
All right.
And the total was 9.
$9,397,000.
And the construction timeframe?
300 days, I think is what it was. Is that right?
Is that for all? I mean, which is gonna start first? Are you gonna start on the tennis or the pickleball first?
We've got to get with the contractor on that and see, but it's all of it's going to start moving.
So the reason I'm saying that,
Right.
if one is finished, you gotta wait till all is finished before you can use one, or
We'll have to look at the safetiness of the road
I got
and
you.
everything.
Okay,
It's kind of, because it's divided by the road, so.
okay, yeah,
We got to have lay down area for materials and everything.
yeah, that's right, okay.
So I know you all did a really good job of getting public input. This is not something that has just happened. It has been a long time coming. So I am curious if you have continued to keep an eye on these two sports and their viability into the future.
Sure, Bob, you want to come up and speak to any of that? So Bob Martin is he is a pickleball player, and I'm in regular contact with Bob and his group. They have a pickleball club. It is still one of the fastest growing sports, and then our tennis community continues to grow with our youth, and so I don't see either sport slowing down anytime soon. No, ma'am.
Bill, you want me to speak?
Sure.
I'd rather not, but let me just add to
I
that.
know you'd rather not, but I think it'd be great.
Bob Martin. We've developed a pickleball board and advisory committee, and we are estimating, which is very active, and we have places all over Florence that are playing right now. But I was talking to Christian Hedrick the other night about the estimated players we have right now, probably in the neighborhood of 250 to 300 that are playing right now. So
Up
we all,
from, down from, how, I mean, is that an all-time high?
No.
I mean, that's a great point in time number, but where were we, that kind of thing? If this is gonna maintain viability long into the $9 million range, how many people are gonna be playing it 10 years from now?
I mean, it could be double that number easily, if not, I mean, triple. I mean, I don't know. That's really hard. But we started only 2 years ago with a handful of about 20 of us, and it's grown to that. So,
But you're talking local.
yeah,
You're talking about local players.
I'm just talking about really Lauderdale and Carver County.
I got you. And when you invest in a facility like we're about to invest in, I compare it to when the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail was located here.
Right.
Yeah, we're building it for our people, but we're not building it solely for our 250 current pickleball players right here in our association.
I don't think I implied that.
I'm not
so I
saying
don't
you
think
did
can
imply
claim about
that.
Bob, thank you.
I'm not saying you did imply that. I'm just trying to make a point also, is that we're building it to attract visitors to the city and to the area. So I just don't want that number you just mentioned, 250, to get lost in the potential of a weekend of 500-600 players coming into town to stay in hotels and that type
Well,
of
we had a tournament about a year and a half ago. We weren't even organized, didn't really know what we were doing, but we wanted to have a tournament. We had 120 or 30 out there just for that. And that was with the current facilities that we have. So these facilities are gonna be outstanding, and we wanted to wait to have a tournament on opening day whenever you guys are finished, just to have a kickoff day, and it'll be fantastic. So, I mean, Michelle, this sport has grown. There are professionals playing now. It's nationwide, if not worldwide.
You always know that a sport is popular when Target does a collab about it. So I have to say, Target's collab with Prince has not, but I'm serious. But I also know that sometimes those are high watermarks. And so what I want to make sure is that we are maintaining viability, because this is not a small thing. And it needs to appeal to as many people as possible for as long as possible. And I also am very cognizant of the fact that it's going to mean that Bill and his staff are going to have to maintain it, work with folks, Bob, when you are not playing anymore, but other people are. So those are long-range issues that, while this is great now and we're planning on that then, there's so much more to think about than just this tiny slice of time.
Sure, and the reason it's so viable and so popular is because it appeals to a wide range of people, of all levels of athletic or non-athletic ability, honestly. So it's just, and really, at least 50% of the viability of pickleball is relationship building, because, it's a fun sport. We all love that, but Sheila and I, we've lived here 22 years. We have probably met 200 people we never knew before. So that's a huge part of it, and that's probably why it grows so much, because people have become friends and relationships have developed.
And let me add this too, and I'm bringing this up not because of what Michelle said. I don't misunderstand this, because people are watching, and I want people to hear. We're focusing right now on pickleball. We're not building a $9 million pickleball facility. It's tennis and pickleball.
That's correct.
And let's don't forget, tennis, I think, is probably the bigger chunk of this money. You going towards clay courts, multiple tennis courts, a beautiful clubhouse. I mean, it's, the tennis is getting kind of, I hate it, the tennis is getting lost in this. But you know, we're gonna have 2 facilities there. When you bring in a tennis tournament here to the area, holy cow. You could really have a tennis tournament and a pickleball tournament going on at one time, and we're hunting hotel rooms.
Yeah, and I was only
So-
speaking about pickleball, and a good example locally is the sportsplex. Sportsplex, look what that's developed into. I mean, so anyway,
Yeah, we got more on that in a minute.
thank you.
And Michelle, I think it's a very fair question, and I guess if you look at other cities, maybe Prattville and other places who have done similar things, it continues to grow. And what I see is the range of people that play. And also with tennis, I don't know if a lot of people realize, but with tennis, we support the schools. So there's a lot of schools that, county schools, private schools that utilize our courts for their tournaments and other things. So I do think that's important not to get lost in the tennis, because tennis is a very popular sport in Florence, and that's the same thing. You know, you've got youth sports and the adults playing as well. So that's a good point.
So will we be pursuing, like, we got the Alabama high school softball tournament going on at our sportsplex right now, which has generated thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Are we going to pursue maybe some high school tennis tournaments with this facility here once it's built?
I think there's some definite possibilities there with, like Mobile hosts most of those bigger tournaments. They have multiple courts, 36 and up, but the key number is 12, and you design it. This is John from GMC, so 12 is the key court number for tournaments, so you can have that 1 through 6, and then, so I do see us having tournaments 100%. I don't know if it'll go as far as statewide, but you know, like we're hosting the regional tournament, it could be a regional tournament that we host in tennis or something like that. I do see that, absolutely.
How many courts, say tennis courts and pickleball courts will there be?
Oh, man. How many was it?
20
pickleball, 23 to, I think it's 24 pickleball, 16 under roof.
I do.
There's 6 clay tennis courts and 12 hard courts.
You're doing good, keep going.
There's 6 pickleball courts that are not covered. So, however many that is,
Yeah, I do.
that's not it.
I think it's enough.
I'm talking about pickleball too.
Keep going.
We designed our first pickleball course back in 2006. And back then I did not know, never heard of pickleball. And it's been around for a long time. So it's, I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, I go to these sports conferences. It is the biggest thing going. So I think it's here to stay for a very long time. I mean, I don't see it going anywhere.
But there's approximately 12 hard tennis courts.
6 clay courts.
Clay.
Moving over to the lighting. Which one?
That's fine.
I think it's
20, it's
I think it's-
23.
I was thinking 12, maybe we don't, but I was thinking 12 and 12 hard and then 3, 6 soft.
The 6
And
clay
then
courts.
since we did the championship board in pickleball, I reduced it down to 20.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's 20 pickleball courts. And several of them are not covered, but then the majority of them are. Thought I had it in here, sorry. That's all right. Any other questions on that one?
No.
Can all teams, like athletic teams, host on those courts? I mean, I played high school tennis and a little college tennis, and we didn't play clay, but that was a few years ago.
So with clay, majority see your people that have bad knees. You don't normally see clay courts played at the high school level. It was mainly on hard courts.
Okay, so that, but that is enough to host a tournament then for high schools of all
Yes,
sizes?
yes, 100%. With the other venues that we have, yes.
So they won't all be able to
Yeah,
be
if
there?
you've got 12 courts at one place, 100%. That's the key number at one place is 12 with the other venues that we have. And that's what they do in Mobile. They do have a lot, but they can spread them out to different venues. Whatever.
36
Bunch. Any other questions on those?
Mhm.
Thank y'all, Robert. Thank you, John. So item T is, we'd like to submit for council approval the contract proposal for New South Associates, and this will be to conduct a phase 1 cultural resource survey for the Florence Recreation proposed renovations at McFarland Park in Florence. And the total price, which includes labor, equipment, and materials, is $49,556.30. This is part of our master plan, and this will be for the campground area and also the fishing pier.
And that's just phase 1?
This will be just a phase 1 survey, yes, ma'am. This is what TVA is recommending that we do to move forward with, hopefully, the renovated campground and also to redo the fishing pier.
I is the fishing pier.
Well, this will be part of the process of moving forward. We can't do anything with that until we go through this phase 1 cultural survey.
And is it possible after we do this, Bill, that they may change our plans, totally 86 our plans? Okay.
I think we've had several conversations with them. I don't think that it will be a complete just do away with it, but they may modify it and tell us that we can do this area, we can't do that area. So it'll give us this will give us some direction of what we can and cannot do, how deep we can go, if we can't go if we have to stay on the surface. So this will give us a good picture of where we can go for the future.
Okay, so it's gonna be part of an ongoing dialogue that won't
With
just
TV.
be phase 1, it will be throughout, no matter.
Yes, so once we get this back, we'll have conversation with TVA and with GMC and decide how do we modify the existing plan that they have, if we need to do anything any different than what we're already looking at doing.
And I apologize for this, because I meant to ask it earlier. I'm certain of it. Did this go through finance and the Park and Rec Committee for these 2 items, S and T?
So S was part of the bond that was approved, and T, this one is also part of that bond issue as well.
So, but did they go through conversations at committee level?
They have gone through multiple conversations on the sewer and water, and also multiple conversations about where we are with this as far as TVA. They've been Zoom meetings, and Councilman Oliver, yes, ma'am.
But not the
Yeah.
full committee?
Yeah.
For Park and Rec?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just making
And-
sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
And the finance committee.
okay. Thank you. I'm sorry about that, Vanessa.
No problem at all. Next item is item U, I believe, and this is to approve an invoice for Ringer's Garage Door. And this was the purpose of providing and installing a 12x8 garage door at the club disc golf course maintenance building. And this work included labor and materials, and the total cost was $2,370. And this was an emergency repair because we couldn't get the equipment out to maintain the facility. The next one is a request to receive a matching grant, it wasn't a matching grant, a $2,500 Singing River Trail Innovative Alabama Plus Zero grant. And this was to put in a bike station at the New River Heritage Trail. And so Dr. Kavach with the Singing River Trail graciously awarded us this, and several other people, but we were one of the ones ambulance that received this $2,500. We discussed this back on March the 5th, and now it's time to receive the money.
That'll be good.
Yes, very much. Any other questions? I will get the exact number on the courts, and I will
Send it in
send,
email to
I will
everybody.
send it back in just a minute.
It's 12 hard courts, 6 clay courts, and 20 pickleball courts.
You'll just have it in writing, would be
I
good.
will put it in an email.
You can
Absolutely.
get us a timetable for fishing pier.
And then
So-
go buy a lottery ticket, because that would be good as gold. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
if you're in the agreement with, this particular firm, they did, TVA did ask for, that time was of the essence. So I think and there is 6 weeks to get that back. So once we get all that information back, then hopefully they'll give us a clear picture of where we can go.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Brian. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everyone. The item I have is contract with Designers Graphics for professional services at the Rosenbaum House. This is to install window tints in one of the spaces in the house. This is in the amount of $890. This will help with heating costs in that space. It'll help to protect some of the artifacts by preventing some of the damaging UV rays from getting into this south-facing room.
No worry, I mean, you're a historian. I mean, but we can do this on this house, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, well, that was one of the things that we consulted with about, so, yeah. It's not going to detract from the appearance or anything like that.
It's not aluminum foil.
No, it's not.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, what were y'all doing outside, and y'all were gonna do the post, you gonna do the outside?
Yeah, that's gonna be in a couple of months. We're still looking at that. We were looking at the we're gonna have to replace that sewer line. So that's coming up soon. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Brad?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one item on the agenda tonight. It's item D on the consent agenda. It's the approval of the countywide multi-hazard mitigation plan. This is a project that started back in 2019 in conjunction with Lauderdale County and state EMA. It's required that we update our plan every 5 years. And so for various reasons, this project has drug out, and now we're kind of at the culmination point of approval by all of the municipalities and the counties. At this point, the city of Florence and Rogersville, the town of Rogersville, are the remaining 2 signatories to sign off on the project. Ms. Bailey and planning have reviewed and have approved and are in concurrence in moving forward with this. Just to let you know, moving forward, we will be partnering with NACOG and our partner counties with this hazard mitigation plan. It will just make things a lot more streamlined for us to receive federal funding and state funding in the event that we have some type of natural incident that happens within our jurisdiction. Any questions on that? And just real quickly, to give you just a couple of quick updates, I'm happy to report to the council that for the first time in over 30 years, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, both the Florence Police Department Dispatch Center and 911 Dispatch Center have viewability of both of the CAD systems. So any call that comes into Lauderdale County 911 is seen at Florence Police Dispatch, and any dispatch that comes from Florence Police Department is seen at 911. It's something that we had talked about for a very long time, and I'm happy that it's finally there. So we're getting that information back, which I know is something that the council had asked for. And then we're continuing to work with Lifeguard with the ambulance contract that we currently have in place, and I'll be providing some information to the council over the next week for consideration to hopefully stabilize the conversation long term. So expect some information from myself and from the mayor's office.
You had mentioned the CAD stuff among one of the very first things you wanted to do, so
Yes, ma'am.
good
Yes,
job.
ma'am. Yeah, we're happy about it. Anything else, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Brad. But Brad, we're glad you're on board.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm presenting item E on the consent agenda for Tad. He's out of town. And this is a contract with TJ Construction in the amount of $162,937.50. And it is to move a gas line. It's on County Road 27, and it's currently on a bridge, hangs on the side of a bridge, which is never ideal. It's safer to be underground. So TJ won the bid, and the county's tearing the bridge down and putting it back to culvert instead. And so we're going under the creek, and TJ will bore it under the creek and move it, which is safer anyway.
So our cost is simply to go under the culvert to the other side. We're not removing the bridge.
No, the county's removing
Right.
the bridge.
So this is our cost to do that work.
Right, just to move it off of the bridge and under the creek.
Is it Tate's? Back Tate's Loop.
By Tate Slough, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
I think so. So they won't have to go too deep, hopefully.
Any other question?
Thank you. Thank you.
Then Michelle, for you, David Cook.
Oh, so sorry.
Two invoices.
So, David did apologize that he couldn't be here tonight, but as the Public Works Chair, he did ask me to bring these two before us. There is a garage door that needs to be replaced, and then an invoice from Certified Alarm that is just to be renewed. That is literally the information that I have. So, that is it.
Have you got a few minutes?
Do I need to go down? Can I have, I don't know the answer. I will call him.
No. Any other questions? Mary, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, so sorry. Yes.
So how are y'all this afternoon?
Good.
Good. I have a few items on the agenda tonight. The first one is item J, and it is a supplement to our wholesale power agreement with TVA, and it is the power supply expanded flexibility agreement. And basically, this is an update to our previous flexibility agreement that gives us more options in order to generate our own, part of our own power to purchase it versus purchase it from TVA, so. Any questions about that? Okay. The next one is an updated agreement with Chris Mitchell, Management Consultants LLC. We use him on a yearly basis to do a lot of our finance and forecasting and lots of forecasting and looking at our power invoices and how we can do things more efficiently. And so this is a contract that we renew every year. This is just a new renewal for the year. Any questions about that?
You mentioned both of these at the utility committee, so I appreciate seeing them here ready to go.
Yes, thank you. The last on the consent agenda is for North Alabama Drilling LLC, and we are contracted with them to actually do the drilling of the new concrete poles we're putting in the Shoals Creek crossing, and it's $2,000 for each hole that they are digging for us for the concrete poles, with also an add-on where if they hit rock, it's an extra $600 per hour as they have to dig the rocks up. So, which is a good chance that we will hit rock there at the bank of Shoals Creek, so. You'll
So
see
did
us
you-
work, go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Mary. Did you put a maximum on that, like not to exceed? Because,
We didn't, so it's 2,000 a pole.
Right.
Plus if we hit rock, it's just 600 per hour, cause we've gotta dig them 14 feet deep. And so we gotta get them in the ground, so there's not a maximum whatever it's gonna take, we're gonna have to do. And we'll be working on that this week, so if you wanna drive by Shoals Creek, you'll see them out there working on it, so. And then the last is a change order. It was overlooked the last council meeting agenda that we, had incorrect numbers on our Allegiant contract. And so I'm requesting a change order of $792.12. So both numbers will match the total plus the itemized amount for each meter replacement. So I'm requesting a change order to this contract.
I would make that motion, Mr. President.
Motion by Michelle, second by Blake, all in favor of the motion.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Bob, I think I was at Auburn this past weekend, and they had a pickleball facility.
Being built all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a resolution to approve a contract with White, Lynn and Collins and Associates to provide structural engineering analysis of the chain link fence at Pine Street Bridge.
We paid for that ourselves.
Yes.
So where is that fence gonna be built?
Well, it's already there.
Oh, it's there, that's why I was confused.
Right.
Yeah, okay, it's for that one, I got you.
Is there a concern, Bill, if you've done this now, like, is there something that is prompting this?
Yes, ma'am. We contacted an engineer about it, and, the first one, you know, after delaying for a long time, and I wish he hadn't delayed that long because, you know, Richard could do it, but anyway, after delaying for, you know, quite some time, you know, he called me up and said, well, we're not gonna do that. And so I knew Richard was a structural engineer, and I asked him to, and actually, you know, you haven't approved this yet, but he's already started working on it. And, you know, and basically, he said, I know it can't withstand a tornado. Now, you know, I've talked to some people, and basically, you know, what I've told them is that, you know, these banners look great, you know, if it's on a sunny day or, you know, to a certain amount of wind, but I would feel more comfortable if we determined the level of the wind that it could withstand. And, you know, that's what Richard's working on. Now, again, he said that, you know, it cannot handle 105 mile per hour wind, but, you know, I don't think, you know, the banner's gonna be mounted at 105 mile per hour wind. But, he's kind of working down to find out what the threshold is for it.
And then what?
Well, then I would say you don't put them up, you know, unless the wind, you know, it's for a period of time when, you know, the forecast is that, you know, it's not gonna be that high.
Okay. So you'll report back and let us know, and we'll be able to have a recommendation at that point, or you'll work with whomever
Yeah, as
about
soon as
whatever
Richard gets
banner
us
is
an
there.
answer, I'll let you know.
Explain to me, I wasn't paying attention, what that does for the wind, I mean.
Well, the issue is, you know, I talked to the engineer that, and
And the university, when they were talking, they said, it was, the mention was made that the fencing has the same fabric on it at the ball fields. And my comment on it was that, yes, but the guy that designed the fencing, had, it basically, they knew it was gonna go down about 3.5 to 4 feet. And he couldn't remember whether it was 3.5 to 4 feet, but it was gonna be embedded in the ground in concrete. And, and when he started looking at this, he said he really was concerned because on the fence, it only goes down into the concrete, but it only goes down 5 inches. And now the mechanism, the way in which they're done for fence posts when you're going down 4 feet is a little bit different, but they did the best they could when they mounted these fences on this bridge because they can't go any deeper than 5 inches. Just depending on the wind, I mean, those banners look great.
Right, but they also don't need to become a safety hazard.
Yes, ma'am.
Blow out.
Or blow off or cause additional weight-bearing issues and all that, so, okay.
But, we don't have that many high winds, but, so I think it's a good idea, but, I guess I would personally feel better if I knew what the wind was going to be, and it was a period of time when the weather wasn't forecasting any heavy winds.
You might hook up to Andy Jones.
Pardon?
Never mind.
No.
So the question is just the banners, I mean, put them over to have them or not have them, basically is what we're talking about.
Well, that's why Richard's doing the analysis.
Or as I understand it, Bill, and please clarify, but to have a protocol in place if we have the banners, when they can be up and when they can't.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second item on the agenda is item, you'll have to excuse me because somewhere during the course of this day, I have misplaced my reading glasses. With Shot Creek America, and I think we talked about this maybe last week, emergency contract with Shot Creek America. Nope, they're too much for me.
It's nice, Bob.
But thank you very much. For the harvest drive, and I think that's already been mentioned, and it's for the amount of $295,800, and actually Paul's been working on it. And I think we're fortunate that we were able to discover, what was happening, before there was a collapse, because that pipe is in really bad shape. I mean, really, really bad shape. Maybe the worst I've ever seen. So, but the good news is it's relatively shallow, and we can get to it. And and everybody seems to be working together, especially with the business that's right next door to it. But anyway, they're gonna be starting on it. They've gone in there and they've got a lot of the utilities relocated, but that's been the problem for the first couple of days, getting everything resolved as far as the utilities. Okay. And the final item is the resolution to approve the payment of the invoice with Anthony Gardner, the diving inspector, and this individual, we called him in to look at the piers that were, the vents that were in the columns that were in the water, and to analyze them. Now, we've always done that in-house, but this particular time, I went in there with a wetsuit, and I'm not a scuba diver or anything, but I mean, and what happened, it was too deep. I couldn't feel the bottom of it, and prior to that, this time, I've always been able to get a hold of the bottom. And there is some abrasion on it, and you know, nothing to be concerned about, because that happens, you know, when piers are in the water, you know, as long as it's, you know, it's very light, and it is very light in this particular case. But, you know, this will be a continuing thing, because, you know, we talked about it in our office, and we think that it's, you know, it's time to kind of turn this over, you know, to somebody that does it on a regular basis. And it's not, you know, in the whole scheme of things, it's not that expensive, $1,200 for, you know, for him to look at the columns in the water and just make sure they're safe. That's it.
Yes, thank you, Bill. Chief.
Good afternoon. I have one change order for tonight, as well as 3 other items on the consent agenda. 4 items, no, I'm sorry, correction, 3 items. If you want to, we'll take the change order and get that out of the way. This is change order number 1 to the PO that was previously issued for the fire department of 0167. This is to Goodwin Mills Kaywood. They provided a proposal in the amount of $14,400. This proposal is to provide geotechnical services for the new Fire Station 4 location. And this is just basically the seismic study of the ground and dirt out there as they're doing the engineering of the foundation for the station. We're doing this as a change order in lieu of just issuing an additional PO. We're just tagging on to a previous change order that we had issued to GMC. So that is that's kind of the thought behind it with the change order, instead of just starting over with new paperwork and a new PO, to put it all under one existing and current PO.
What was that amount?
That was for $14,400
Added to the existing.
to the existing PO, yes.
I hear a motion that we approve
Yes, I'll make a motion that we do that.
it. Motion by Mr. Oliver, second by Mr. Edwards, all in favor of the motion.
Thank you. Item P on the consent agenda, Muscle Shoals Fire Extinguisher has provided 7 invoices totaling the amount of $2,207.50. That provides repair and maintenance to all portable fire extinguishers. This is for all 5 fire stations, our training center, admin office, and the maintenance shop, both the facility mounted extinguishers as well as those we carry on the trucks. And that's to be expensed to account 260. Any questions on that one?
Routine maintenance, chief.
Yes, it is. Inspection and maintenance. Item Q, this is with Metfin Equipment Incorporated. They provided an invoice in the amount of $1,050. This includes work that was performed at our training center. Basically, we had a small crane come out. We were working on a training prop, and kind of got ourselves in a spot. We needed a quick lift of a Connex box, a rail car type container, and they came out and made a couple of lifts for us, and that invoice totals the amount of $1,050.
Any questions?
Item R is with Barnett Plumbing. This was in the amount of $1,190. They had to come out to Fire Station number 1 and do replace a stem on the hot side of the kitchen faucet, pull the mop sink off the wall, and clean and jet one of the lines that was there. We had a backup in the system, and basically it was just a routine to get things resolved with that issue. And the labor on that is what pushes that to come before you today, and that's to be expensed to account 266 as well. That total, that repair has been made, and it was in $1,190.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you.
Planning Director. I have one item tonight, and it is a public hearing. This is the rezoning that was originally set for the 2nd, and of course, that meeting had to be moved due to the dangerous weather. When you have a public hearing that's scheduled, it has to be re-advertised, and so it has been re-advertised. So this one got double advertisement and double notification. You did approve the annexation of this property, and it is on Florence Boulevard at US 72. This property is just a few, maybe 2 or 3 parcels south of Newburns. Everybody knows where Newburns is. So the property was annexed at your April 4th meeting, and then we, of course, re-advertised the rezoning, and that's what you're doing tonight, is rezoning from its residential status to its high-intensity commercial status, which is B1H.
Have any questions?
No.
Go ahead, Nelson.
Oh, no, this is the planning commission though. Did they,
The
approve?
yes, the planning commission did approve unanimously, and there were no comments made. And of course, at the meeting, we'll do the public hearing, and then you have the subsequent vote under agenda item 12.
Any questions? Thank you, Melissa.
I win the time clock.
Not that there's a competition.
I have 2 items on the agenda, W and X, and both of them are for planning for the Spirit of Freedom Festival. And the first is with James Marine, and it's for the tugboat. And the second, X, is for Bubba's Marine, and that's for the barge.
On July 4th, right?
Absolutely, July 4th. Absolutely.
Okay.
Any questions?
Bob Whitey, City Clerk Treasurer. I have 2 items on the general business. Item A is an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a full-service restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by Las Fiesta Incorporated, do business as Senor Tequila Mexican Bar and Grill Restaurant located at 105 North Court Street, sponsored by me. This is the next to Rigatoni's. It most recently was Pimentos, so they're going in there. The other one I have is an alcohol beverage license application for the operation of a full-service restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine by Villagrana Incorporated, do business as Hugo's Mexican Restaurant located at 4160 Florence Boulevard, also sponsored by me. And this is the former location of Smoking Jalapeno. And so, Hugo's moving.
Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
We do have another item concerning the Confederate Memorial Monument plaque, on the wording and placement. And we want to go ahead and add that to the regular agenda, or to the agenda. I hear a motion that we move it to the regular agenda.
So I'll second that.
Motion to second, all in favor of the motion. And that will go under regular agenda by, so that'd be 12B. We'll call it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll be added it to under 12B.
Do we have a copy of that, please, that we can review?
but it's just not with any of our documentation today for reference.
Sydney, could you get that for us, please? Thank you. Do you have?
Copy of the resolution.
Mhm.
I've got
Thank you.
copies. for
Would you
everybody.
be okay? Oh, you've got for us.
I brought 7 copies
Okay.
for the council and mayor.
Okay, thank you.
We can take about 5 minutes time.